Hey, I'm Saxon, by the way.
I'm Chloe.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. I hear you're a douche.
Welcome in. Thanks for stopping by again on such short notice. Lately, we've had some IDPs that have been a little, a little more angsty, a little dark, a little heavier, perhaps. So this one will be completely different. We've got cosmic country, some jangle pop, and some kind of psychedelic folk rock, we would say. I did hear some rumors that last week Steve Carlson had, I don't remember if it was one or both of his shoes ripped off. I'm looking at getting some lockers installed so that people can store their shoes and slippers in there and, have a combination or key or something so that they don't have to worry about their shoes getting ripped off or whatever. But until then, I would hope that we can, all respect each other's footwear. I hope this isn't something we have to keep going over week after week. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started. All right, first up, we have the artist Edith Frost. She has returned with her 5th LP overall and her first new LP in about 20 years. This one is titled In Space, and as with all of her late 90s, early 2000s LPs, it is on Drag City Records. I've been a fan of Edith Frost since I believe her second LP when that was released in 1998. She has kind of a psychedelic, folk, slightly country, I think mainly because of her vocal, maybe evokes a little bit of a country feel to it, or like an Americana vibe, perhaps. This album kind of carries that sound forward. In the meantime, in these last 20 years, she's learned keyboards, and keyboards are featured prominently on this album. There's a lot of spacey, airy, dreamy passages. I really like her lyricism. I've always been a fan of like her lyricism. I like her kind of dreamy, kind of country vocal style. That's really what this album, and I think all of her albums, really rely on that songwriting and just her sort of unique vocal style. And I think that if you liked Edith Frost's previous 4 albums, you will like this one as well, I believe. Anyway, another solid record from Edith Frost. This is her first new LP in 20 years, and it's titled In Space.
Stand there with your hands in your pockets and you won't even hold on to the rail. Maybe go downtown right where you belong. Maybe get off there, or maybe get on. Traveling circus of my own. I'll be glad to ride beside you, but then I've got to run back home.
All right, next we have the second full-length LP for a band out of New Orleans. They're called Silver Synthetic, and the name of the album is Rosalie. It's out now on Curation Records. Silver Synthetic features members of the bands Bottom Feeder and Jeff the Brotherhood, but it doesn't really sound anything like those bands. This is more of a cosmic country or psychedelic country rock with a big pinch of, let's say, 70s pop rock and like a dollop of Grateful Dead style noodling on top. Some of the tracks really feel like they are built upon like a Grateful Dead riff. Others have a more like countrified Raspberries vibe. I think fans of the Rose City Band and other bands that are kind of dancing in that same pond would probably be worth checking out this album. Has some, has a lot of different elements of things, but some jangle pop moments, a lot of pedal steel. I say a fair amount of kind of the nods to like other bands that kind of have a little bit of Grateful Dead DNA sprinkled into them. Whether that's good or bad, we can agree to disagree. Anyway, once again, that is the New Orleans band Silver Synthetic, and the album is titled Rosalie.
She let it all in, she let it rain. It was all too much for her, like a thought is a seed on the wind. She never saw it begin, she never saw it end. On a cool night, you got to warn me lonely, line and road. You know I'm doing all I can. Don't make me feel like I don't understand. I'm working with my own two hands. Don't make me feel like your love is a sham now.
Next up, we have the debut full-length studio LP for the band The Loft. And the title of the album is Everything Changes, Everything Stays the Same. It's out now on Tapete Records. So that's right, this is The Loft, who in the mid-1980s was one of the first, or one of the original artists on Curation Records. They were the first Curation Records artist to top the UK indie singles chart. And this is also the band that broke up in the middle of a song at a concert at the Hammersmith Palais, probably at the peak of their success. So now, 39 years later, the original lineup has reunited and releasing the debut studio LP, because back then it was, singles and EPs only that they released. I definitely would say the new sound is smoother, more refined, more mature perhaps, but still has that jangly C86 style. Mostly upbeat, mostly like feel-good pop songs. Every song is well-crafted, catchy, hooky. Definitely a must check out for the mature indie kids, the mature indie pop kids out there. Again, that is The Loft. The debut album, like 40 years after they formed. The album is called Everything Changes, Everything Stays the Same.
I'm a hungry ghost and I want more. I'm lost, I think I'm lost, but I'm good at pretending I'm not. So pour it out, drink it down. I don't want to feel good tomorrow, want to feel good now. Feel good now, this book of dreams. It comes with its crooked smile, telling you how to be. How you stop with the eyes and distance the mind. Under his face on the wall, you listen to the sound and you never look down until you hear the good doctor call.
Next up, we have the third and possibly final LP for the Brooklyn-based band called Pale Lights. This one is self-titled and it's out on Kleine, Untergrund, Schallplatten, and Jigsaw Records. This is the Phil Sutton-led project that we've talked about before, and we've also talked about his other project, Love Burns, recently. He was also previously in a number of other bands, Velocet, notably, and Comic Gain, and others. Kind of an under-the-radar, underrated in the indie pop / jangle pop world. Has a lot of, I'd say, Lloyd Cole, Bell and Sebastian, Go-Betweens, Biff Bang Pow vibes. Has the lovely boy-girl vocal harmonies with Suzanne Nienaber. I'm probably saying her name wrong. She was in the band Great Lakes. Just her backing vocals really are additive on this album, like they make, and on the other Pale Light, the previous two Pale Light album as well. The album artwork definitely evokes Belle and Sebastian, and by extension, the Smiths. Similar kind of style on this one. Gary Olson and Kyle Forrester of Ladybug Transistor also play on this album in addition to the full lineup of Pale Lights. This is definitely a mini album. It's 8 tracks, 23 minutes long. I really wish it was longer, especially if this is the last Pale Lights album. I kind of feel like that was my biggest complaint, is I wish there was more of it. I would definitely say if you're not familiar with Pale Lights, I would point you to their second album to check out before this one, The Stars Seemed Brighter. That's one that we did talk about on this channel previously, but all 3 of their albums we're checking out, including this one, I just say once again, this one it's a short mini LP, so maybe there's more meat on the bone on those other albums. So once again, that is the self-titled release from the Pale Lights, out in the US on Jigsaw Records, and I take it in Europe on Kleine, Untergrund, Schallplatten Records.
Precious moments we have come at the end of the week, and it's so wrong, it's so messed up. Peaceful walls, they keep us split up. I miss you from 9 to 5, I miss you from 6 to 10. What can I do? Feels like the summer goes on forever. Golden times you say, I won't let you down, don't you be afraid. Golden times